Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. Of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks." So today's topic is, drumroll please, dating life part 2. Okay, so hopefully you saw part one. Part one was just like an overview. So now part two is specifically, now fast forward, that was when I was 17, the first man that I kissed. So now I'm 18 and I had gotten back from my summer away where I had a 2-month affair, but as I mentioned in that video, no penetration happened. So now I'm back. I'm senior year in high school. I'm doing community theater, and I definitely was, meeting people, dating, but it was interesting because it still took a minute for me to get to the actual act of penetration. And of course, big surprise, I'm a bottom. Hello, Helen Keller would know, right? So this video is about the first time that happened. And it was a particular individual, I'm not going to mention his name, but hung like a horse. And what was interesting was kind of seduced me, and didn't really have to because I was attracted to him. But when it happened, like we were at a mutual friend's house, and I'm in Long Island, and he, made it obvious that he was interested, but because like friends were there and whatnot, nothing really happened. But then I was living in the Bronx still with my parents because I was in school, and he lived in Brooklyn, I think it was. And then he happened to have a motorcycle. He was like, I could take you to the city. And then from there, I would have jumped on the train. But then, so I'm on his motorcycle and arms around him. And then as they're driving, he was like, "Do you mind if we make a pit stop at my house?" And I was like, "No." So, hello. And when he said that, I was like, "Oh, I see where this is going." So when we got there, we did end up like showering together and got naked. And I was so turned on by him. And like I said before, he wasn't small by any means. So, when I hear people talk about like certain bottoms, or other people talk about like the actual penetration, oh, it's too big, or this or that, or it's been a while. I'm here to tell you it was the first time, and it was such a swift, easy thing how it happened because I was that turned on by him. And honey, it was like butter on toast. And so my first experience was so incredible because, I actually liked the individual. We had a great connection. And although he was humongous, I think the trick to that is you have to really want someone, and there cannot be any hesitation. If there is the slightest hesitation on your end, no pun intended, then that's when it's not going to work. That's when it may hurt. That's when it's not going to be pleasurable. What for me, it was the most incredible thing, and to the point that it was just like, oop, one swift move, and I was like, wow. And then then of course we start going at it, and it was heavenly. So I feel fortunate that the first time around, uh, it was that successful for me. And I don't know if that's the right word. It was pleasurable, and there was no pain, no discomfort, no anything. It was exactly what the first time should have been for me. And considering, like I said, the size of it all, I was pretty impressed with myself. And then I was like, oh, okay, I see what's up. Considering I'm only like 5'4", 140, and this individual was like 6 something and was a lot bigger than me. Just goes to show you, has nothing to do with anything other than, as the bottom, you have to be in the right mindset, and you have to really, really want it to happen. Because, I will reiterate, if there's even the slightest hesitation on your end, on your behalf, that you don't maybe really want it, or you're not in the mood, or maybe you don't feel secure because maybe you know, haven't cleaned yourself out properly or at all, then it may not be as great. Okay, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know this is supposed to be about dating. Unfortunately, we ended up not dating, although we are like friendly on social media, and that was, God, 42 years ago. So, and we only did it the one time, which is sad because, God, I'd love to do it again. Color me surprised, right? All right, guys, don't forget thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Thank you for being here with me, and I look forward to the next time. Love you.